Hello, we are just a couple minutes out and we will get started here on this webinar. And we are right at the 11:30 mark. We'll give it just one more minute and then get started with this training webinar. Okay, we're just after 11:30 Eastern here, so we can go ahead and get started. And just a quick reminder, there will be recording of this, and of course, we can always provide a personal training to you, additional training support anytime. That's what Andrew's for. So very quick little introduction. My name is Rick Wagner. I'm on the sales side with Layered Solutions. Won't be making a sales pitch for you here today, but just doing a quick little introduction to our customer success manager, Andrew Faber. And we have a few more joining here as we speak. So thank you for hopping on, everyone here today. Andrew is about a year and a half in and basically an educator for our customers, making sure that you all have confidence and comfort in your system, how it works, how it can work, how it can operate, making it as efficient as possible. He has a teacher background, an education background. So he was a teacher for roughly 10 years. And so we brought that education mindset and brought it into this role. So Andrew being the customer success manager, and he's just here to teach and help in any way possible. So his contact information is here on the page here that you see. And we also do have a support page, and we have a collection of people on our team that will assist from a support standpoint, whether it's a call or email or form that's filled out on our webpage. But Andrew is one of the team members that can help with that. And reach out to Andrew anytime to assist. So if there's anything specific, any more in-depth review sessions that you need, please reach out. I know last training and support webinar that we did, there were a couple more in-depth questions. So there, that's where we can follow up and jump on a call afterwards. So this week we are going to hit on messages management. So Andrew's going to run through. He's going to run through managing messages, events built within the Layered Solutions platform. And he'll show you that, run through a few things, explain kind of more in depth what that is. So that's what this training and support webinar will be. And the real purpose of this, at least this specific webinar, is to be pretty surface level. So just kind of touching on different areas. And if you did not attend the last training and support webinar, the idea of this is to have different sessions, typically about twice a month or so, and some will be more in depth. So the purpose of this one is a little bit more of just a kind of broader touch point on the different topics, but we will certainly have other sessions that will go deeper dive into certain areas. And again, Andrew can always jump in and assist you further directly to you. So just a quick little review here. There is closed captioning if desired for you. Simply click the bottom bar where it says, where it has the CC there. If you have any questions at all, I believe I did turn off the audio and video for everyone just so we can kind of run through this, but the commentary, the question area is open. So if you have any questions at all, we'll leave time at the end to run through that. We will also make sure and note any further questions that need action items afterwards. And then, of course, we're in December. There's a lot going on. November, December is always, end of year, holidays, everything. So we did one in November, one in January, and then we, because again, January is the same, except on the flip side of the holidays, in that it's busy. People are starting back up. So we will do one in January. I believe we have tentatively set that for the 20th, but we will run through that. You'll see information come out here pretty soon regarding that. And then from there on out, we should really run into about 2 a month. So we'll do one earlier in the month and one later, but we'll fan those out and do about 2 a month. And you'll see those in our newsletters, social media, other areas. And we are creating a site page on our site that also has just any upcoming types of events. So there's a lot of other webinars that are planned. We have a healthcare webinar that's going to be planned early next year with myself, and then Lawrence, who is on this call as well. So Lawrence Pritchett, who is our director of sales on the healthcare side. So we'll have that coming up. So we'll have a page on our site that's being built right now, just to showcase all the different upcoming events, mainly webinar centric. Anything else you need from us, of course, reach out anytime, call, email, text. There's forms online that you can fill out. I'm happy to assist in any way. And then from here, I will hand it over to Andrew and let you run with things. And Andrew, I do have this recorded, so it's actively recording. Again, you can have access to the recording after the webinar here. Thanks.
Sounds great. Thank you, Rick. All right, let me share my screen. Okay, so first of all, you'd want to, like Rick said, I'm Andrew Faber, the Customer Success Manager here at Layer Solutions. I have been a teacher for about 10 years, but I promise not to talk to you like you're an 8-year-old. So let's get going. Whatever your site's IP address is, like the URL, I suggest bookmarking that and having it easy access. Mine's up here. I'm going to use what's called production. And so you might get to see a little inside baseball here. So log in. And so right off the bat, we have all these pinned messages. That's what these are. If you're unfamiliar with the dashboard, many of you are probably like, yeah, we're ready, we're good. But these are the messages that you want quick access. And then all of the messages are listed here. So what we're going to do is we're going to go and jump into somewhere where we can play around a little bit. And up here is where we change directories, 3 dots. And then select a new directory and make sure you're clicking on the text. And then I'm going to do sample messages. This is kind of my playground. The Pirates, that's just a clip of the Pirates movie. That's why it's called that. Something we use to test for things. And so what I've done here is just have random messages that I've created to test for other customers. They have questions. I jump into what we call production, like I said, and then I test it on my computer and a little setup I have in my office. So right here, this one is just called a text. And the reason we have A in front of it is to keep it kind of towards the top. So when we go into edit message, after clicking those 3 dots on the side, show you one more time, 3 dots on the side right here, edit message. And then also this menu allows you can make an export of a CSV if you want, see how it's set up. The command list, which we're not going to get into today. This is where you unpin or pin the message. But we are going to go into the first one called edit message. And again, click on the text. So here is basically all we're really going to talk about today. I might jump into these other things, but this is the most basic setup for messages. So the directory is where the message is where the message is going to be housed, which dashboard is it going to be in. So right now we're in sample messages. If you're like, you go into edit a message, you're like, oh, I didn't want to be in there. You can quickly drop this down and choose a different directory that you have within your school, company, whatever. Message name, I have this one named a text. We're going to make a whole new one, webinar test. So then that's what the name is on the dashboard page. That's what it's going to be called. So if this one starts with a W, so it's going to be at the very bottom because it goes in alphabetical order. So I might throw a 1 in front of it to keep it at the top. So that's something you can kind of keep in mind. It's a kind of a cheat way to pin a message without putting it at the very top, because some people want to have their I don't know if I mentioned you can have 8 pinned messages. If you have like a 9th or a 10th message that you really want to use and have quick access to, a good idea might be throwing a 1 in front of it to keep it close to the top for you. The send to, I have choose in this column, which that means think of this send to as the user you are sending this to, like a person or a user that is previously set up within the LSI system. So when it's set to choose, that means if I hit launch and if I hit send and send this message, it's going to stop and pull up another little window, and it's going to ask it's going to bring up a menu of who do you want to send it to. So it's going to kind of stop you and then send it. It's not just going to go out. So right now, if we click, I can click any of the guys here or whatever. You can also select sender, which is a very common one. And I'm going to set up this message today as a common thing I've been seeing requests for from various customers. And I'll get to that in just a second. Visual group. So this MC stands for media controller. I am not a DJ. I'm not MC Andrew or anything like that. So that is just a visual group name that my little sign in my office is set up as. So when I do test a message, it pops up on that computer. So then you choose your visual group. That's where you actually will see it. And then if it's attached to signs with speakers on them, it will then read the message out loud if it's set up in such a way. Subject is kind of optional. If you want to help organize yourself, that's totally fine. The duration, it really depends on what type of message you want to send. A lot of our emergency messages are set up to last, like if there is a fire or a lockdown or whatever, it would last 8 hours. And then we would have other messages in place that go in and clear that out with an all clear. But that again is getting into the weeds a little bit. And we're kind of just focusing today on just sending a message to a sign and seeing how that looks today. So, you change that from 1 hour to, let's go 3 minutes. And I think if you do it below less than a minute, it'll say, are you sure, kind of thing. So we're just gonna do 3 minutes for that one. So when this message goes across, right now it's gonna say text on media controller. That's what it's gonna say. And this is a description. It's a first message that goes to your electronic signs and your pager. You can describe it however you want. That is just the default, letting you know how this message kind of works. The user devices field is text devices, email, mobile apps to the individual users. So that means if this message were to go out, it would not send a message to whoever. on their mobile device. So if you have the LSI mobile app, it's not going to send them the message. It's not going to send them an email. If we select it to yes, then it would. You can choose to do yes or no, and then there's the choose no, choose yes options as well. We're just going to do no for today, and then I'm just going to erase that. So then our message, this field is what it's actually going to say. So webinar test message. So, and then I'm not sure if you guys are going to be able to hear that. Rick, you might have to help me out. But if I click this, it'll show you the text to speech. Not sure if you guys heard that, but it reads it, and you can. There's a lot of stuff on the back end that we can go in and switch. But in a female voice, it read aloud webinar test message.
And just to chime in there, we did not hear it. So
okay,
on your end, obviously you heard it, but no, on our end, on the audience side, we did not hear that.
Okay, apologies for that. I wasn't sure if that was going to work out that way. So you can see what it sounds like to make sure it pronounces words right. And with that, there's a whole nother thing where you can go in and make sure words are pronounced right. Because if you use last names get a little tricky for the text to speech a little bit. So sometimes you can go in and you can change pronunciations of things. But again, that's much deeper than we're getting into today. So this message would be sent out in a visual group. And if we had all signs, if you're like, I want this message to go everywhere, you select all signs in that visual group. So then you choose all the different ones. I could really, I'm not sure if Rick's are set up in this production yet, but could send messages to Rick's wall right now because he's got all of those displayed in his sales setup. But anyway, the audio groups, think of those as strobes. I know those are kind of strange to think of a strobe as an audio group, but it's the way it's wired. So you can select the different audio groups. It's also the PA systems. So it will read aloud over your PA systems if that's what you have integrated with. So then that is like the basic message. And one more thing I did want to add, if you create a new message from an old message, so we clicked on, I think it was called a test or text or something, it's important to not hit save. We want to hit add record up here because that will create a new record. So I'm going to go do that right now. If I would have hit save, it would have given me like a warning, like, are you sure you want to save over this one? You've changed things kind of thing. But I hit add record. And if I go hit that again, it will say error, this has already been added. It's already a thing. So at that point, it'll stop it and say, okay, if you made a change, click save. So right there, one webinar test. And I think, let's see. All right, so that would just go out and it would say webinar test message. Very basic. Here is the other thing that I wanted to show you guys that I've been asked about recently, and something I think is really cool to integrate is you can do what's called a variable. And I believe that is the variable, and it's just pound whole message. So if I save that, that means when I click send, it's going to, oh, I did something wrong. It would be, I must have typed it in wrong. There is a way to, it'll prompt up with texts. And so now I can see, let's see. Probably typed it in just wrong. Might have missed it. Oh, it's lowercase. Okay, so edit that message. And there we go. So right now, instead of just sending a message that says hashtag whole message or pound whole message, it brings up the text box. And this will do this also on the mobile app. So if you have this, if you want to send quick messages, then you type in, this is a test message. Then you can hit send, and then it will go to all those devices. I'm going to cancel that for now. And I know that we've had a few schools, I think in Pennsylvania, they asked about for check-ins. And so, for example, this is really handy for fire drills or just drills in general, emergency drills. I set up a message in such a way where they type in that they have all their students accounted for, and it goes to their safety team when they do those drills, or if, unfortunately they would have a real emergency, but it's ready to go for that. Or you can send out a whole message if you want to just get something out there real quick and it's going to be customized and different every time, but it's just text. This is a great way to kind of shoot out a good text message to everybody, and to go across signages and speakers or whatever your setup is. Then everyone will get that text. Or you can send it to a specific user. You can select choose down here, and then it would go, okay, I need to send Ralph a message, and I go and I select Ralph, send him a message, and say, send Timmy to the office, something like that. If you're thinking in the school, like my brain defaults to still. So that is kind of checking time here. We can click on visual appearance here, and this is where we can get kind of a little bit more fun. So across here, you can change the color of what the message is going to be. So when this goes out to devices, it's going to be in, I believe that's red. Sorry, a little colorblind here. But then you can select whichever one, and if you click on a field, it will, and then you hover over it, the color text will pop up and let you know what it is. So I believe this one's red, and it would go out as red if you're like, well, that seems kind of like, oh, it's an emergency. We just want to make that blue, or I think that's blue. Yep. And then click save. There you go. Make sure to save your edits as you change them once you've created the first message. Sometimes what I like to do, just to make sure I know, so I don't hit save on accident, if I was going to make a new message, I would just change the message name. And then, to webinar test. And then I would hit add record, which that message is going to be set up the exact same way as the other one. But now I can go and make my changes and click save, knowing that I've created a new message and I'm not messing with the other one anymore if I hit save. So then you can change, the font style, the speed. So this is 1 being the fastest, 8 being the slowest. This message is going to race across those signs. So you can kind of slow that down however you want to pace it, and other kind of setup stuff. But we don't want to get too into the weeds here. And I think, are we at time for kind of questions, Rick, or what are you thinking?
Yeah, no questions yet, but feel free to jump in with questions. I am opening up a screen just to give a visual. I am a very visual person. So I am going to share the wall that he, oh yeah,
I'll stop sharing.
Steal your
Go ahead.
Screen here. So just to give everyone a visual reference of some of the items that Andrew's referencing. So some of those items in terms of the color that's being pushed across these screens. So when we here at LSI will say signs, that typically means some kind of, we used to call them LED signs, but as you can see that there's, or if, I'm not sure how clear that is on your end, but there's actual LCD versions of some of the older technology of the LED signs that we see here. All are still available, of course, but when Andrew's referencing that, that would be one of the many endpoints that we tie into. So LED signs, LCD signs, even though that's more on our side reference for TVs. But the LED kind of marquee boards will typically have a clock, a visual reference of some kind with customized text that you can push out, like Andrew's mentioning. And then the audio aspect as well. They will typically have a speaker, and we can push that text-to-speech, other audio recording, and can get it all sent to those devices. So just to give it a little brief visual of what Andrew's referencing there.
Do we want to send a sample? or no?
Yeah, sure. Yeah, go for it.
Okay.
Or do you want me to-
You can keep your screen up, unless you have a quick one to send, but yours might be all the emergency ones for your stuff.
Yep.
Had to switch windows. You want me to just do everything that's Rick related?
Sure. Yep. And again, just as he's putting that together, if there's any questions, there's a comment, kind of a chat box the bottom right. If anybody has questions, please feel free to reach out there or reach out to us afterwards, whatever is most convenient for you.
Oh, that's okay.
And I can just send one just to give a visual if that's helpful, Andrew.
I think I got it.
Yep.
Tried to personalize a little bit.
Yep. Love it. Perfect. Yeah. Excellent. So, so you want to highlight what happened here?
Yeah. So, right now, I sent it to all of those. Well, most of them. I guess I missed one. The signs in Rick's office. And the reason it's flashing on those is because I forgot to change the display mode and the last time I was messing with a message. So it doesn't have to do that kind of like flashing on those top two.
Sure.
But basically sent a message out. And so I did not select an audio group, so they're not reading them out loud. I also didn't want to startle anybody. So that's what's going to happen. And this is set to 5 minutes. So for the next 5 minutes, that's just going to say hello, webinar guests. And then I guess another good thing to discuss is to cancel a message. And also if you noticed on the TV screen he's got there, we refer to those as LCDs as short. Yeah, thank you. That size of font can be changed and altered on that so it doesn't look so tiny on such a large screen. So if I take back control of the screen so I can show them, if that's all right, Rick.
Yes. Yep.
I think, there we go. So now if it's all going across Rick's screen or Rick's signs and everything. If I go to stop active, because he probably doesn't want to see that for the next 5 minutes, click on stop active, and I click this one, and I go, it says hello webinar guests. I'm going to click stop. There we go. And then I'm back at my messages, and his stuff goes back to normal. Mm-hmm. So there's that. If it was an emergency message, like lockdown, something, it's going off, or fire, whatever. Usually, I would say 99.999% of the time, we would set up an all clear message for you. It's defaulted in our system, but if you change things, that's on you guys. But if there's an all clear message that would set up, and it would basically cancel that out, let you know that everything is all clear and all good to go, and then that would scroll for a little bit and then stop. But that is kind of how you manually stop a message. So if you take what you learned today and you go kind of play around with your stuff on a sign, and you send a message to every sign across campuses or buildings or wherever you're at, and you're like, oh, I didn't mean to do that. On the left side of the screen, go down, select stop active, and then make sure you select that one that you just sent out and click stop.
Yep, that's great. And I was told through another path that someone was not able to comment in the chat box. So if that's the case for anybody else, I do apologize. I'm looking at the settings as we speak, and it says that it's it's available. So I do apologize if that's the case. Please email us, call us, whatever, and let us know what questions you have, and we'll get right to you on that. The question was about healthcare and code alarms, and how we can utilize messages within that space, and absolutely. So we have healthcare organizations that utilize our system just for that. So, so yes, you can set all kinds of parameters within the messages as far as how long, where they go, whether it's LED signs like you see here, or other endpoints like our mobile app or PC alert or whatnot. So absolutely, we can streamline the communication for different types of code alarms in healthcare organizations, and including in existing environments, legacy systems and devices that are there in place. Typically, we're able to jump in and can help make some of those communication pieces more consistent. And you do that through messages, basically the messages creating the pathways to and from, and setting up the rules and parameters within those screens. So can certainly dive much deeper into that specific space as needed anytime. But just to make sure and hit that quick little question here. And again, I do apologize because I know we're right at noon here. So I do apologize if that is a setting for everybody else, or if that's just a kind of a one-off scenario that we had. But again, I see the settings right here where it says messages, and it seems to all be set correctly. So we'll look at that and make sure it's adjusted for next time. But thank you very much, everyone, for joining. We'll get information out afterwards. And again, Andrew is here to make sure that your system works as you want it to, and that you're confident, comfortable in it, and never hesitate to reach out if we can do anything else at all. Thank you.
Thank you.